Hey, what's going on, you guys? I thought I would give you another video real quick. And I think I'm gonna start doing this. A lot of times when I'm driving, a lot of my thoughts, it just inspires me to share this story. And a lot of times when I watch other people's stories, I notice that I have a gift of storytelling, true stories, not fake stories. I do write my more personal, deeper thoughts down. Maybe one day I gotta share that with you guys, what I put on paper. But the ink is nice when you know how to use it. But I ask you, what is a friend? What is friendship? Do you have friends? I don't. I don't have friends. I don't say that to brag. I don't say that to make it seem like I don't need no one, that I'm tough, that's big and bad, and nah. A lot of people think they have friends. But I'm here to tell you, do you really? Do you really? Maybe you do. Maybe you don't. Story time. I remember when I was around 21 and 22 years old. I was working at a warehouse. And I was close with this guy. I'm going to call him Q. That's what his name starts with. I'm not going to name drop. Out of respect. Regardless of what happened. Q was from Georgia. And, of course, I'm from across the water, South Carolina. The warehouse is in South Carolina, in my city. And me and Q, we clicked instantly, really. I kind of forgot how we met. We was working on the assembly line, where it's like 3 to 5, 6 people at most, working side by side every single day, you guys. Basically, you have to teamwork. And Q, if I can describe Q at this time, Q was a few years older than me. If I'm 32 now, Q was probably 37. Yep, that is about right. I think it was like 3 to 4 years older than me. And Q, he had dreads, shorter than me. And he had a gap. He had a gap right between his teeth, his top 2 teeth. When we met, man, he was cool. He was super cool. And I honestly liked it, dude. I really did. And, we had a lot of things in common as well. We would laugh about movies. A lot of times we would re-say things in movies that were super funny. I do have a great personality, you guys. I do have very witty. I can be comedic, but you gotta sort of earn that. I be very blunt, but I do have a good side. For the most part, even though I look very serious, and I am a serious person, I also understand it's okay to laugh. It's okay to crack a joke. In conversation, a lot of times, to get my point across, I will be sarcastic with things. And certain things I'll say to make sure you get the picture. But you know what I mean. So anyway, I consider this guy more as a brother. I saw this guy every day, even worked overtime with him. And like I said, we had a lot in common. He would make me laugh. He would make me cry laugh, y'all. And he would always ask me, quote a movie line, so he could basically get a laugh, get a kick, because he said that my impression of the movie is exactly like. He was like, man, how do you do that? How do you do that? I like film. I do like film. I like a good piece of cinema. I did a little acting when I was in school. Not on the talent shows and nothing like that, but it was always something that I always, like in a way, right? Like a good script. I say script, I mean script. Especially if it's a catching line. I'll give you an example. If anyone ever saw the movie The Players Club, my favorite scene in that movie was with Bernie Mac and Jamie Foxx when he came in there and tried to ask him about his money. And Jamie Foxx told Bernie Mac, he asked him, he say, hey man, I don't think that it's right that you taking 30% out on my check, charge me 20% interest on which the money that you loan me. And Bernie Mac said, welcome to the stripping game, partner. He said, Blue, you Jamie Foxx, who you think you is? You ain't nothing. Who you think you is? DJ Quick, Jimmy Cabrini, or you must be Jimmy Walker. Well, you ain't nothing. You don't deserve nothing. You don't get nothing. I got a contract amongst me and you that says you do what I tell you to do. Therefore, shut the fuck up. Get out my face. Don't say nothing. Don't look at me. Don't speak to me. And he said, listen, Bernie, I ain't coming here and try to muscle you or nothing. He said, hold your horse, hold your horse. He said, let me tell you something. You best to go on back out there and get out my face before you get swole. That's just an example. If you like this kind of imitation of quoting certain movie lines, I'll do more for you guys. But anyway, back to Q. Q was super cool, man. And I ended up working at least 3 to 4 years with dude. And again, Q was a ladies' man too. Q was a ladies' man. But see, he was what you would call a hustler. He was a hustler. He was like a quiet hustler. From what he showed, he was very good with saving money. This dude, he showed me like 10 grand when he was only like 23. So if he was 23, of course I was like 19 or 20. And maybe a little older than that. He was probably, I think he was around maybe 25 or 26 when I was 22. And you guys, I told this man, we were so comfortable with each other. I told this man about my living situation when I was living with, my baby's mom and her parents. I even invited him over one time to fix up his Xbox One. I think this was around the time when Xbox Ones were popular. And I noticed something that when he came over, and my baby mom, her little niece was over there. I'm gonna call her Viv, short Viv. That's all I'm gonna say. And I remember when I was hooking up his game, you know, Viv kept walking by, and you know, he had wandering eyes. You know, I could tell he had wandering eyes. So long story short, we get back to work that next day or that Monday, and you know, he asked me, like, "Yo, man, who's that girl? Who's that girl, man? Yeah, she look good. She look good." And I was like, "Oh, dude, that's a baby mom. That's her niece." And he was like, "Man, she right." I said, "Bro, hold on, wait a minute." I said, "Dog, she's only like 15. I think she was 15 at the time, 15 or 14." And he was like, "Well, man, dude, she's stacked like a grown woman." I was like, "Yeah, but bro, she's, you know, I'm telling you, she's 14 or 15, one of those ages." Keep in mind, me and him had a lot of conversation, and I remember him telling me on an occasion that he liked real young girls. He liked them young. I mean, young. I mean, fresh 18, young. Me personally, I think he liked them even younger than that. From the energy I was getting from him and the personal conversations that we had, you know, I would just tell, like, "Yo, that's nah, it's too young." You know what I mean? But hey, as long as I guess she's legal, you know, that's on you. Me personally, nah, he ain't with that. But anyway, so one day, another guy from Georgia who he knew I had to train. His name was Dave. I ain't gonna give his real name. Let's just say D, right? D was a laid back, cool cat. He was a ladies' man too. And a girl I used to go to school with, I had a crush on her. She had a little sister that was fresh out of high school. Nice looking girl. That any man would desire. She was smart. You know, she was in great shape. She was beautiful. And I didn't know who her sister. I was like, "Who is your sister?" And she was like, "Oh, such and such." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, I used to go to school where I had the biggest crush on her in school." And she was like, "I don't know why she didn't choose you or whatnot." And you know, when she said that, I was like, "Okay, I appreciate the compliment," you know, smiling, you know what I'm saying? I had no intention of, you know, dealing with her. But she did is to come to work with these spandexes and stuff on. And, you know, I'm a young man, I'm a man. And, you know, I would glance, I would look. And, you know, I noticed that she would have on thongs in certain panty lines that showed very good. I think she purposely wore them. And D, you know, he ended up wanting to talk to her. And cause they was around the same age. And Q, you know, we all three would get along, would hang out outside of work, you know, grab food and stuff like that, right? And I remember this one particular day, D came to me. I'm kind of fast forwarding. D came to me and he said, "Yo, man, I got it." And I was like, "You got what, D?" And he was like, "Shorty, man, you know, young girl right there." And I was like, "Oh," I was like, "Oh, you," and he was like, "Yeah." And I said, you know, I gave him a dap. And I was like, "My man," you know, he was like, "Yeah, man," he was smiling, he was cheesing, you know, he even told Q, because he been knowing Q, you know, longer than me. They grew up together and all that, you know him. And that was real close. And a lot of times they would be talking about things I had no interest in. So, I would just, butt out, right? And I'd be on down the line working or something. They would be cutting it up, talking, laughing, which is cool. And I remember you guys like 2 days after that, I started glancing down the line, and I started seeing D shaking. He would try to look back and forth like he had ants in his pants. He would literally try to shake, and he would, reach down and he would itch. Sorry about the glare right here. And so he came to me, and he was just like, yo, man. But well, first he went to his homeboy. He went to Q. He been known. And he said, and Q came to me. Q was like, and he started laughing. And I was like, what's so funny? You know what I mean? He was like, man, that girl, she don't, she don't burn. She don't burn deep. And I'm just like, he's over here laughing. And in my mind, I'm just like, okay, I thought he was in my mom, like, he your so-called homeboy. And at the same time, D, he ended up making his way towards me. And I could see it in his eyes, man. And he came to me, he said, man, he said, man, bro, when I go to the bathroom.
In 2 miles, take second exit at Circle.
Sorry about that. But he would say, when I go to the bathroom, man, and I try to pee, it hurt, bro. Like, hey, man, it won't come out, and it sting real bad. And I was just like, oh. And he was like, man, and he had a girlfriend too. She was down there, and she worked at second shift. We was on first. Me and Q was hired in. I trained D. And so his girl worked down there. And he was telling me, he was like, man, dude, I'm scared. You know what I'm saying? And I know, and you guys, I'll tell you, I know how that is. Again, I've been through a lot in my young years, and it's not funny. It's not funny, especially when a guy claims he's your friend, and that's a scary situation. And so, I was trying to I was being honest with him. I was being real. I say, listen, D, did you use a protection on this girl? And he was like, nah, man. And I was like, damn. I was like, well, listen, did you have sex with your girlfriend after you had sex with her anytime during that week? And he was like, yeah, man, yeah, like multiple times. And I said, D, listen, man, I know it's scary, and I know, it's something you're not gonna want to do, but I said, dude, better off tell your girlfriend. Just tell her, what you did, you screwed up, you cheated on her, whatever the case was. And just go to the health department and get clear, man. You know what I'm saying? And let it be a learning lesson and water under a bridge. And he was like, man, I can't do that, man. And now that was funny. But I held my laugh, because it was very serious. And the reason why I didn't laugh, because I knew how serious it was, because I personally went through something like this. I know it's a lot of information to tell you, but it happened. And a lot of times this is how you learn your lesson. The man had tears in his eyes. And I hated seeing him like that, man. I do have empathy for people, even during that young age. But of course now it's a little different with certain things. You will be held accountable now. But so I tell him what to do, and already people working behind us, they already know what's going down, because Q went around telling people. Now keep in mind, this was my friend. Now if he go around telling people,
1 mile, take second exit at circle.
now if he go around telling people, you know, what happened to this man, all the personal and stuff that I don't told him, I even told this dude girls who I don't, you know, messed around with, or my baby mom, and I'm just like, yo, like, you know, it made me uncomfortable. Cause buddy, he was laughing at Q. I mean, at D. And you know, so every 30 minutes or every hour we'll rotate on different jobs. You know, I rotated away from D. D. And I went over and rotated on the opposite side. It's almost like an island. You isolate and work on yourself. Put tape on the refrigerator. And this dude named, it ain't no point of really trying to give him a name, but basically this guy, he was way older than us. He
In
was
3/10 of a mile,
and he was laughing.
take second exit at circle.
And he already knew what the scenario was. Even the PC, you know, who was over the area, even he came up to me and
Take
said
second
something.
exit at circle.
He was like, yo, that girl, you know, she got his ass, didn't she? She got him, didn't she? She got him, bitch. And I was like, you know, what are you talking about? He was like, you know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? I'm like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. You know, I
Take
guess he was
second
thinking
exit
I was gonna
at
go
circle.
along with him and laugh at this man after he came to me. And you guys, it gets worse. It gets worse. Again, keep in mind, y'all, this is, who are your friends? What is a friend? We really have to ask, what is a friend? I'm not with giving titles to people. I'm not a person of titles. The word friend don't mean nothing to me. Like I say, if I'm cool with you, we cool. You respect me, I respect you. You know, it's very simple. Ain't no need for all these titles. But listen, so it gets worse. And the more I look at D, you know, the one who has the burn, the more I feel bad for him, man. Because when you guys, if you ever worked in a warehouse, you know, once people know your business, it's a wrap. You're probably better off going to find another job. You better off going to find another job, man. I'm telling you, that's how bad it is. Folks are nosy, and when you put your business out there, oh man, it's shameful, it's embarrassing, and you're going to be ashamed to come to work. You'll be too embarrassed to come to work. So here's the sick part. So he asked to go to the bathroom, and of course the same PC who was laughing at him, because he already knew, because they saw him itching as well, and you know, Q, who I thought was my friend, he goes around, you know, giggling and stuff about it. I'm in my mind just like, man, I know he ain't over there, you know, laughing at dude. They supposed to be, you know what I'm saying, friends and all that. But so Q go to the bathroom. I mean, D go to the bathroom. Who's itching? And you know, the PC took his spot, and the PC was like, you know, you got to go in there and get somebody got to go in there and get D, because he has to get back on the floor. You know, he was busy that night with the refrigerators. And somebody went in there and they went and checked on D. And they said, D, you all right in there? And only thing we heard, y'all, was, ah! This is a true story. Very true story. They said that when they went in there and checked on D was in this nasty bathroom on the floor, crying, holding himself. Yes, holding his genitals. They had to literally, you guys, go up front and get a wheelchair. And they had to wheel him out in a wheelchair. And when I look back, you guys, when they was rolling him out, he had his head down. And the first thing I did immediately was look around. And I just wanted to see who was laughing and getting a big kick out of this. And of course, when I looked, it was Q, my so-called friend. He was popping his mouth, man. He was saying a lot. And, you know, he would talk to me about it. And, you know, I entertained it. And I was just telling him, I was like, yeah, man, I feel bad for David, man, because this is a serious matter. A lot of pain is going to come with that. It's humiliating, it's embarrassing, and it's nasty. And you know, D, he personally told me, he asked old girl, like, have you been dealing with somebody else? Like, have you been checked? And he said, old girl got mad at him, and she said, yeah, when he got checked, when he got checked and all that. And he was like, okay, but come to find out, she had a boyfriend back there before she messed with David. And folks is coming up saying that you know, she did do the same way. You know, she burnt him. But this video has went long enough. And ironically, that wasn't the end of me and Q falling out over time. Oh, I say the best for last. Stay tuned. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Well, leave a comment. Let me know when you thought you had a best friend and you saw who they really were. You start seeing the signs. But like I told you guys, this is not necessarily how me and him fell out. Things get deeper. Stay tuned. Can't give it all to you at once. Thanks for listening.